All right, so we're back again. This is kind of an intermission. I have the Deadly Assault videos coming out, but I like to upload them one at a time. I missed like 2 days on one of them because I got really busy. But anyway, um, this one might either come out once all those are uploaded, or probably somewhere in the middle. Probably somewhere in the middle. Um, don't ask me why I'm always outside of Hollow Zero. It's because this is all I do all day. Like I'm either doing Shiyu, I'm either doing Hollow Zero, I'm either doing cleanup, or I'm either doing Deadly Assault. So most of the time I'm here. That's where I am. Anyway, this video partially is to not chronologue, catalog more like just what I do end up spending on this game if I do end up spending. And the reason I've mentioned a few times before is I want to buy this skin, so we're just gonna send it on here. Originally, my plan was to buy this pack here uh, because I have 1,034, as you can clearly see. You guys can count. And I need 350 or something. Well, actually, I need 300 and whatever. Um, so originally the plan was to buy this because this gave me 600 and this covered it. But for $5, for one of the reasons I'm spending is because they gave us this free. Where is it? How do I look it up? It's right here. For one, I want to thank them for giving everybody a free this. And again, you might say like, oh, if they gave it to you for free, why? Because this is $5 to buy the membership, right? It's like, oh, if they're giving you one for free, why pay money then? Like you're defeating the purpose of the free gift. But it's more just like I would like to personally thank them for just offering that to everybody, even those who can't. And $5 isn't going to kill me. So for one, so this gives me 300 polychrome, which you can clearly see, or monochrome, which you can clearly see isn't enough. So what I'm going to end up doing is probably just buying this as well because this gives me 240. And this way I can maximize the money that I spend on this game. So for what, $4 plus $5 for about $10, I get not only 3,000 because well this isn't going to go there, but 27 polychrome plus whatever this is, a bunch of these 760 more polychrome. So what? That's 34 for $10. Again, we go back to this and it's like if you want this much, you're spending $50. Now, if you buy the double one, you're getting 60 for $50, which is equivalent to this one for 4,000 whatever. Anyway, the point being is that like I wanted to buy this skin. I have a bunch left over from the last time when I bought Yuzuha that I just want to buy something smaller. And again, it's mainly just to reward the developers, kind of just as a thanks for like all the work that they do and all that kind of stuff. So just to show a bit of appreciation, because the less like, and I've talked about this a bunch of times already, but just like it's okay to spend money on a game you want, right? A game you like. So just to kind of throw them some support and show that I'm enjoying the game and all that stuff. That being said, I'm gonna go put this in and purchase this. I'll pause the video and I'll come back and we'll start some funny ranting a little bit. All right, so we're back. Um, I also the other thing I forgot that you get where is it, R2? You get this. Again, I only spent like $10, so I'm not getting a lot out of this. I'm only getting two ether batteries. Um, but yeah, like I said, to get to this 1,000 ticket or whatever, you have to spend like $150. And like hell, am I paying $150 to get here? Obviously, when you spend $150, you're not just like this isn't all you're buying. You're buying other stuff you want, and then you're getting this as a bonus. But yeah, no, I'm not. There's no way I'm doing that. So here we are.
I always feel at ease with you at my side.
Go to outfits, and
I
we'll
always feel
swap
at
to
ease.
this.
Everyone says
So
it suits
basically,
me.
I'm gonna put that on her, and it's gonna stay on because I don't know.
The weather's nice
I don't
today.
really like this skin.
Maybe
It just and
we'll
this is
watch a
like I
movie
said.
together.
This video was mainly just because I had a lot of stuff that I wanted to rant about. Because while I do like Wuthering Waves and I do like Zenless, and I had that video talking about Wuwa and my gripes with it and why it's kind of like fallen off for me a little bit. On the flip side, when I made the video on this, I said I enjoy this game. So the point being is that like I do like this game and I think it's a great game or whatever. Oops. I do like this game. And I think it's a great game, but that doesn't mean it's without its flaws, right? So there are flaws here, but part of this was just to show I like this game enough that I'm willing to spend some money and kind of like support them in that way. So I'm okay with that. But again, it's not to like say that it's perfect. And again, like I said, part of it's just to balance it out to just be like, okay, Well, I was okay. I like it enough to spend money on it, and I'm okay with that. I don't want to say that it doesn't have any problems. So,
I
one of the
always
issues for
wanted
me,
to see
the
you
reason I'm
at my
buying this
side.
skin, for one, I just like the skin. I think she looks nice in it.
I'll
Um,
give you a hand.
I don't know. This skin is just, I don't know. It kind of bothers me. I think for me personally,
The
I think
weather's
this
nice
skin matches her
today.
personality a little
Maybe
more. Now,
we could
granted,
catch a movie
in the
together.
story, she has like another kind of alter ego, or when she goes into like her like glowing form, it's not that it's a different person. I think they say it's like specifically it's just unle- it lets her be a little less inhibited or whatever. Anyway, the point being is that this one probably
Sorry
matches
to
that
make you
personality a
stop.
little more.
I
But I think
always
this one
wanted
matches
to
her,
see
whatever. But
you at
anyway,
my
like I said,
side.
it's mainly just I'm a huge prude, so I that's kind of what I wanted. Um, Listen, just because Zenless is a Gooner game doesn't mean we have to like capitulate to that. You know what I mean? But anyway, the main thing, the other thing is, um, I'm like super debating whether or not, whatever. But anyway, whether or not I should go for. At this point, it's too late because I've already spent. Let's go look here. I've spent what? This started off at 90 or 80, and I've spent like 30 summons on this. 32 summons, something like that. Was it 80? If it was 80, that's 22 summons. But I feel like I might have. It's missing a 10 pull. Anyway, I spent a bunch of summons on here. I spent another 10 on this one as well, or 12 actually. Um, because I was like, I wasn't planning on pulling for her, but
The weather's
how
nice
do I look
today.
at this? Can I see this? Oh, here it
Maybe
is.
we could catch a movie together.
I do think this like uh this first Mindscape is pretty good, mainly because it smooths out her rotations a lot. One of the things that makes her a little bit awkward to play is that when you start the match, she kind of flounders around for a little bit trying to get that first mind state, and then after that, it's like, how do I chain them? So one of the reasons why Zhao and Dial In are so useful with her is because like Dial In can just force out her ults, so you can kind of keep that ult train going. Because the thing with Yixing Wang is, think about it this way: other people have to get the stun window to do their damage. Yashing Wang basically can force the stun window whenever she wants, whenever her ult is ready, or whenever she wants, whenever she gets her 6 like sword storms, right? So the point being is that like you want to find ways to do that over anything else because you're forcing out the stun window. Basically, you're making it longer. You get like 5 or 6 stun windows per boss fight rather than like 3 or 4, right? Um, that's kind of that. The main reason, like the only difference from this versus a regular stun window is that Yeshing Wang is the only one who can capitalize on the stun window. But like that's just dumb because who cares? Like if you're running any attacker, like the only people who need stun windows, right, are attacker comps, right? So like Jane plus Vivian, anomaly comps don't care about stun windows. Only what's her name does. And the reason I bring that up is because like if you're using Sambi cares about the stun window. You know why? Because she's the only one that does damage. Yeah, sure. Trigger and Nicole are doing a little bit of damage on the Trigger Nicole team, whatever. Yeah, they're doing a little bit of damage during the stun window. But who cares? Because the only one that's actually doing any real damage is Sambi. So like with her, the point being is that like okay, we make it so that she can force the stun window whenever she wants, but it's only for her. Only she can capitalize off of that stun damage multiplier. But who cares? Because she's the only one doing damage anyway. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's not to say that they were balancing it around that, right? It's just to say that like that's kind of like the thought process behind it is that like oh she can force her own stun windows that only work for her, right? The unit's also moving around, but nobody cares because she has so much invulnerability that it doesn't matter, right? Like if you wanted to be more balanced, you would kind of do that to be like, okay, she can force her stun window outside of regular stun windows, right? But you still have to dodge and kind of play to that, right? That'd be a little more balanced. But the fact that like she's basically invulnerable when she's in her ult form, which is when her stun window starts, right? It just makes it's just doubly overpowered. Anyway, the point being is that this what this does is it fixes that like floundering you're doing at the beginning because once you get the first stun window, once you get the first ult state, the next one's easier because by that time, Dial In has her maximum whatever. So when her first one finishes, you just force out the other one with Dial In, and then you're in her ult form again. And then by the time that one runs out, maybe Dial In isn't back, doesn't have her ult cheater out, and maybe Zhao again if you're running Zhao, Zhao gives you the three points to whatever when you swap her off and she does her Aether Veil. So she gives you those 3 points, but so the first one comes in is free because of this, And then the second one, by the time the first one runs out, Dialin cheats out the second one. And by the time the second one runs out, what's her name? Yixing Wang has her own decibel ult up already. So that's the third one. And that it just kind of smooths out your rotation basically. So I don't know. I'm not necessarily for or against pulling Mindscapes. Again, my goal is to get M2 on Jane, but that's just because I like Jane. But the point being is that like if you're gonna get any Mindscape, I think this one's more of like, while granted it does give you a lot of extra damage, you're getting 10% extra damage plus you get 20% defense shred on the enemy. The main thing is just to make it feel better when you're playing her. So she starts off with an ult ready. So you swap over to like Dial In. You use Dial In's triple EX special to put the 30% stun damage multiplier debuff on them. And then you swap right back to Dial In or to Yixing Wang. Her ult is up, or her whatever, her 6 stacks are up, her sword force is up. She goes into her ult state, does her stuff. Again, by this time you swap over to Dial In after that. Anyway, after that, so I've already explained all that, but anyway, this just kind of smooths out the rotation a little bit. So that's kind of the only thing that does. And again, I'm seriously tempted in doing that because for one, it also makes her less reliant on like Zhao. So like right now, Zhao helps at the beginning because Zhao has her little Aether Veil up. So Dialin comes in, she does a full combo, she EX specials. While she's EX special, you swap over to Zhao. Zhao gives her 3, so you've got 1 stack from her basic attack combo, 1 stack from her EX special. Swap over to Zhao. Zhao gives her 3 more stacks, so now you're at 5. Come back to Yixing Wang, do another basic attack combo, and then animation cancel the last hit because the last hit it kind of takes forever, and it just completes it, and it'll fill out the gauge. Use Dial In to hit the 3 EX specials to get the debuff to increase the stun damage multiplier, and then swap back to her, and then she's got her thing up. So it takes a little bit of time to play around and get that first ult state active, but after that it kind of smooths out a little bit. Like I said, when you have her first Mindscape, it also lets you like play with different characters. So you still want to use either Zhao or Dial In, but because Dial In is used by like so many characters, it's okay to like use her somewhere else, right? Though ideally Zhao is probably the one you want to swap off because then you don't need the 3 stacks at the beginning. But anyway, that's kind of the reason I'm debating doing that. Is because I do kind of value having the ult up so that I can use Zhao on another team or Dial In on another team. Ideally, because it's a lot of fun playing her with Trigger, but it just takes too long to get up to that first ult state or whatever, the 6 stacks if you don't have Dial In. So I don't know. It is what it is. But I've kind of resolved to just save my pulls and use this pity because first of all, one of the rants that I was going to talk about. I'm not going to rant on it too much, but I think I'm going to title this like the Zenless shoot or whatever, or shooting on Zenless. For those of you who know anything about wrestling, when you're shooting on somebody or something in the wrestling community, you're basically just complaining about them or saying old stories about things that they've done or revealing things. You know what I mean? You're just ranting about somebody or something that happened in the industry. But anyway, I forgot what the point was. Yeah, one of the things I was going to shoot on was like I have no interest whatsoever in the new upcoming Angels of Delusion or whatever. These I just don't care about any of these characters. First of all, the one that's coming next. So when this refreshes, the one that's coming up after her is the support one. Can you guys see this? Let me see. Oh, cool. I wonder if they updated the calendar. So the next one that's coming is the support one. Did they change this at all? No, they didn't. Okay, so we're just gonna be whatever. The first one's coming as the support one. She's fine because she gives out a lot of Aether Veil, but I don't have a lot of units that use it other than Yixing Wang, and it's like whatever. She gives out 1,000 attack and like a 30 or 40% damage buff, which is like okay, whatever. I don't really care about that. Her main thing is to help the one that comes after her, which is like some kind of anomaly unit that like focuses on doing her anomaly damage during the stun window, which is like I don't care. I don't know. I just personally the point being is like this is like the freest patches for me because I'm not gonna pull for any of these characters. We'll see how that affects the account and how far behind the meta it's gonna put me. because it may not even affect me at all, but I get the feeling that it's going to, just because of all the buffs or whatever. But we'll see. We'll just struggle through this. The main thing personally is that I'm just really tired of not having ice coverage all the time. Because it's like the one element I don't have. My fire coverage, I think I uploaded the Wandering Hunter fight a while ago. I used Yishuang on that. Yishuang on that. Because my fire coverage is terrible too, but I need to work on what's her name. Let's go look for her. Soldier 11. I'm just kind of giving up on Minato. Like, he's not bad, but it's like if I'm using Minato, I'm just gonna use Yishuan. Like, it doesn't matter. Most fire weak bosses are neutral to ether anyway. So not only that, but like her performance outpaces his advantage. Like the fact that like they're fire weak, Yishuan still outpaces that anyway. So it just doesn't matter. Soldier 11's is probably. I just need to build her a little better. I need to start working on her more. Um, let's see. I don't use her weapon. I use this. 'Cause this gives her so much crit damage. I'm running this on Yishuan right now, but again, I need to find the set I'm running on her is the 4-piece Woodpecker Electro. Is this good? No, it's not. Is the 4-piece Woodpecker Electro and the Puffer. Mainly just because, like most of the fire stuff, for some reason, got tuned around Minato. So a lot of stuff has like a higher defense. So to help her keep up with that, I just give her the Puffer Electro. Plus, it's okay. First of all, I run her on this weapon, which gives her a combined total of 48 crit damage, plus another 30% crit damage. Plus, if you hit basics or EX specials, that's all Soldier 11 does. She stacks this buff up to 3, which is another 30% crit damage. So all in all, you get 108% crit damage out of this weapon. So that's the main reason I'm not running her on the on Branch and Blade, is because she already gets so much crit damage. Not to mention, she also gets crit damage from this. Let me look at this. Come on. She gives herself crit damage from this, so you know you've already got a lot of crit damage. Is the main point. And then if you're probably running her with a stunner, right? Who also gives her King of the Summit. So finding some other way to give her whatever. Ideally, you probably want to run something like this, the 2-piece fire damage set, but you know, whatever. It doesn't really. It's not that big a deal. Like I said, I like the pen ratio. But yeah, like I said, it takes time to build her out. What is this? Normally I'd run this on her, but the reason it's on Sokaku right now, I don't use Sokaku, but I'm using Sokaku as like a stand-in. I put all the where is it? This doesn't go there. This here, replace. This is all the gear that I'm gonna run on Miyabi as soon as I get her. I don't know what Miyabi's base stats are like, but this is probably what she's gonna look like. 49 crit chance. Plus her weapon or whatever. Yeah. Anyway, so this is, like I said, this is just a placeholder for all the stuff I'm going to give Miyabi eventually. Um, I had said earlier, I don't know when I said this, but I predicted that maybe Miyabi was coming back. I personally think it would have been nicer for Miyabi to come back. I think it would have been pretty cool to see like a double Void Hunter banner, like because the next one that's coming, I think, is Yishuan with the new character. And then after that will be the new Angel of Delusion character plus Yuzuha. So again, I'm holding out hope that hopefully after Yuzuha, Miyabi's coming back in the patch after that. So unfortunately, I'm just going to be sitting here with this pity ready to go, just building up resources for no reason because I'm not going to summon for any of these. I don't need another. I guess maybe the one thing I will pull for is maybe Yuzuha's weapon, because I'm running this on her, which this isn't bad. Again, I talked about this a while ago, but one of the reasons reasons I liked Yuzuha a lot was like her weapon doesn't really do much over what she does by herself anyway. You can approximate her weapon's effect with the one I have on her already. So we can kind of go look at this just to give you guys just to show you guys what it looks like. Oh my gosh. Are you serious right now? There's no way. Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, sorry. I'm the only one, like, that was another thing I was going to complain about, is, like, I'm the only one who gets really pissed off and annoyed at all these stupid, like, story interjections, like this. You can't, like, dash around people because it always clips them and then makes you talk to them. But yeah, anyway, like, I don't care about the story. I don't care about the characters. It doesn't. They don't matter to me. I just they always get in the way all the time. That's one of the things that piss me off. It's like I'm trying to do a thing, and it's like, oh, come talk to me for like 20 seconds. It's like, no, go away. Let's see what we're looking at here. I'm looking at Yuzuha's weapon. Yeah. So it gives her energy regen, which the Weeping Cradle already does. Only it's not in this stat. It's right here. So whatever. Additionally, let's see. When physical damage, this gives her whole team the equiper. Yeah, it gives her No, this gives her mastery. So this is to complete her her whatever anomaly mastery to get her max buffs. Right now I'm getting 14% damage buff. I think it's like disorder damage buff plus I think anomaly application is what I'm getting, 14%. So I'm missing about 6% because of this. And then secondly, this gives out the entire team 60 anomaly proficiency. It isn't great, but it also isn't terrible. It's just not, again, it's just not super like, it doesn't matter that much is the point being. Because again, I'm missing 6%, but and then some anomaly proficiency, but the weapon she has on right now, which is Weeping Cradle, gives out a total of what? Let's go look at it. I actually have it here somewhere. I have it at M2, which is, let's see, right here it's 10% plus 10% because the Tanuki I think keeps the buff up, so it actually reaches max stack. So 20% damage bonus. I don't know. You could probably do math and show me that 60 anomaly proficiency is better. The one I have is what, 25%, I think, because I have it at M1 or W1, I guess, whatever you want to call it. W1. Yeah, 24.5, 25% damage buff. And then if I find another one overclock, it'll bring me up to 30%. So I don't know. Again, the 60 anomaly proficiency plus let's go look here. 92. I don't know. The 60 anomaly proficiency plus the little bit of extra like buff from herself, I don't think it's worth it, but I don't know. We'll see when she comes back. Like I said, I doubt it. Ideally, because I eventually want to get Alice plus Jane plus Yuzuha, I might consider, depending on how my resources are at the time, I might consider her M1 or M2. 30 energy. This helps her start her buffs up a lot faster. Their res reduced by 10, which is pretty good. And attribute anomaly disorder buff. And then she gets a bonus to her buff. I think this here finishes out what's missing. So I think if I get this, it makes it so that I basically reach almost 20% anyway. So this kind of fills in for her own weapon, which is like, who cares? And then I think this is the main one, is this gives you like defense shred or something. I don't know. I'm not going to read all that. But yeah, so as well. The main things, like I said, the main issues, like I haven't even gotten into the thing I was going to rant about. The main issue that I have specifically with this game is the lack of purpose for evasive assists. That's like the one thing out of this entire game that like pisses me off the most, is that like evasive assists are like never useful. First of all, the fact that they tie boss damage, it's not here, but the Defiler needs you. Well, actually, it might use evasive assists to trigger some of those buffs. But the point being that even if the Defiler does gain her buffs from evasive assists, like this one, right? Assist follow up or dodge counter, which I think is the you could dodge, right? The assist follow up means I think you can block it, parry it, and then do the assist follow up after the parry, or you could also dodge counter it, right? This is dodge counter. What I mean is, this is like when you press the dodge button and then you do a counter attack. I'm saying I accidentally said dodge counter when I was talking about the evasive assist. I think assist follow up means you can either use the parry, or the evasive assist. So both of those count towards this stack. However, the point I'm trying to make is that first of all, that evasive assist doesn't do anything to the miasma shield. You have to block it, right? And the only person, this is the other thing. Let's go look at the roster. Well, let's finish this point before I go on a tangent. The main oh crap. The main thing about this is not only that, right? Not only is the evasive assist annoying, it also takes longer. There, like everybody who has an evasive assist, except Grace maybe, but almost everybody who has an evasive assist takes longer to do. When you parry, you can parry back to back. So if I'm using Yishuan and Koleda comes in to parry and he does another follow up attack, I can just parry it with Yishuan back into that and continue whatever combo I'm doing. When I'm doing evasive assists, the stupid what's it called? The slow motion effect thing happens. And yeah, maybe you can wail on them for a little bit, but when I'm trying to get rid of the shield as fast as possible, it's not useful. The other thing, let's go back to what is it called? Yes, the Miasma Priest. The Miasma Priest is such an irritating boss when you have evasive assist. You guys have seen me every time this boss comes in, and I fight it with Yishuan. You guys have always seen me complaining about how you have to get the triple the triple block to get her full or his full performance bonus, right? How do you get the performance bonus here? Oh, here you again. Look, you have to. Oh no, this one I think. Let's see. Or hitting. Yeah, you can do the dodge one. But again, dodge one isn't worth it. You know what I mean? Like, what else does it have here? Oh, this is the hide and seek. So what is this again? Yeah, you do the perception. So when you find it, you get 3, and then when you follow up, defensive assist or the follow up from the dodge counter, the evasive assist, I think. It gives you the other 2. But anyway, this one's a little simpler. This one's not that bad. That's why you guys don't hear me complaining about it every time I go in here. But again, when you're fighting against the Miasma Priest, it's like irritating because not only does the evasive assist interrupt when you're trying to get 3 in a row, because it's hard to like, maybe it's just a skill issue, and it probably is. You guys are probably going to call me out on that. But again, it's probably just a skill issue because you can do, like, let's say I'm running Pulchra in this 3rd slot. You could probably assist with Yishuan, go into Panda, and then go back into Yishuan, but that almost never works because Panda or Yishuan are usually busy, and it doesn't, the game, like, even though I press the right bumper on my controller, which I play on controller, even though I press the left bumper to swap back into Yishuan, it forces me into Pulchra, and I miss those points, which is why it's just frustrating to deal with that. The other thing is the developers seem to know that nobody likes evasive assists, and they've just been releasing nothing but defensive assistive units. Like, why does she have a defensive assist? Like, you know what I mean? Again, she has a defensive assist. Like, they're like moving away from that, but all the old units still have a bunch of evasive assists. Like, the only one that I use is Pulchra. I've been using the main detraction for me from using Arena isn't even the fact that she's not that good. Like, I would use her in a lot more places. You would see me use her a lot because I'm starting to switch over to pen ratio on a lot of teams, and having that like I want to use her with Rena. But again, the one deterrent isn't the fact that Rena sucks, because she kind of does suck. It's because she has the evasive assist. Everyone else has defensive assist. Like, all these characters have defensive assists. I don't know about these characters. Like her, here's another support unit who should have Rena's evasive assist, but they gave her defensive assist because they know how irritating having evasive assists are. Anyway, I've said that word too many times now. The point being is that in this entire game, nothing pisses me off more than that. I wish they would do something about it. I wish they would just take it out of the game and make everybody have a defensive assist, parry, and it would just fix this problem. But they're not going to do that because they don't care. Again, just stop using people who use evasive assists, which basically means don't use Pulchra, don't use Rena, and whoever else. I don't know who else might have one. Again, like Jufufu has one. I'm not sure about her. She may have one. I don't think she does, though. I think she has evasive assists. Who else? Like, all these characters have defensive assists. Yeah, everybody here has parries. I mean, she might. I'm not sure about her. I've never seen her parry, so I wouldn't know. So all these have parries except for just a few. And the few who have them are just infuriating to have. Like, they just piss me off. But yeah, the other thing is, again, the miasma's here. It's hard to get rid of the miasma using evasive assists. You have to use parries for that. So, like, an entire mechanic in the game is designed around that. Not to mention, like, Pulchra is kind of advantageous to use the evasive assist in terms of when we're talking about daze potential. But I'm pretty sure the evasive assist does not build up daze. And okay, maybe like again, Rena isn't building up a lot of days because she's not a stun unit. She doesn't have a lot of impact or anything built on her. But it's more than nothing, right? Like I don't know. Again, it's just irritating. Again, and one of the things is most of these bosses have that built in where it's like, oh, you have to hit them with a defensive assist at some point. She doesn't have. She doesn't seem to have. Oh, she does have it because when she does her ultimate, like whatever, like her game breaking, like this boss pisses me off. But she has that. You guys have fought it already, I'm sure. She has that stupid game breaking ability where it's like if you're in the middle of casting like a move that has iframes, she just says no. So you have to dodge that intentionally. The point being is that like when she does that, the next follow ups will be defense assist, blockable, like parryable attacks. But they won't have the flashes. So you have to parry all those. If you guys want to see what I'm talking about, I uploaded. Actually, I'm still in the process of that, so you'll see that in the next video. Watch the next video when I upload the Primordial Nightmare or whatever the creator fight. I mean, she's come before, so you can go back through the channel and look at the other ones if the other one's not uploaded yet. But the point being is that you need parries for that. So I don't know. It's just like I said. I'm the only one who complains about anything in this game in terms of like petty stuff. Other people complain about rates, they complain about this, and they complain about changes. So when people complain, they complain about more substantial things. But I don't really like. To me, the things they complain about don't really bother me that much. It's just like small things like this. Um, Again, those other things kind of bother me, but like they're gonna get fixed or they're not. And if they don't get fixed, I don't mind them too much. But yeah, so again, the point being is that the evasive assist thing it just pisses me off like beyond anything else in this entire game. I wish they would fix it in some way. It's not even that hard to fix. Like just give them a parry animation. And the other thing is somebody had pointed this out to me, and I thank you for like opening my eyes to this. There's times where you try to parry an attack because the yellow flash comes out. For some reason, the UI in this game turns certain red flashes into yellow flashes when you have a parry assist enabled character. And this in the Wandering Hunter, it's the reason why I don't use Pulchra, because the Wandering Hunter throws out red flashes sometimes, and I'm like, okay, the Wandering Hunter, I need to constantly block all his attacks, parry them. So when I see a yellow flash come out, I assume it's a parryable attack, and then Pulchra comes out and wastes my time. So I don't know, just again, these are just personal things, but it's just like, why is that a UI thing that it changes which attacks are affected by which things? Either make them parryable or not. You know what I mean? Like, don't give me a yellow flash and be like, oh, you can evasive assist this. It's like, I don't care. I don't know. That's just my thing. And especially if you're using Pulchra, you really need to like not do that because Pulchra sucks up 2 of your parry points or whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about. There's the little meter down here that has like your assist, whatever, your assist wheel. She takes up 2 of them. I guess you could like swap her in and then swap her off without using the second one, because she takes 1 point to swap in and then a second point to attack. And then the reason it takes a point to attack for her specifically is because she gives herself that like off-field like assist attack thing. So because she's more valuable off-field, they charge you that extra point. Anyway, the point being that it's very bad to do that with Pulchra, like more than any other character, because she accidentally like spends more points. So then you don't have enough to like block all the get the triple block attack that you need for Miasma Priest. So yeah, I think that's the main thing. Is just my frustration with the stupid evasive assist system. They should just all be parries. I guess the only other gripe I have right now, specifically, it's not a gripe that's graded on me the way this has, because since I started playing this game, one of the first units I got was Pulchra, and again, like it's been grading on me since then because there's times where I wanted to block an attack, but then Pulchra comes out, and it's like super frustrating. But anyway, one of the things that is kind of frustrating to me is that we only get character buffs every so often, which I'm super glad about that, because like Genshin hasn't had any character buffs, and that game's been out for like 7 years. Wuwa doesn't get any character buffs. I don't know. The point being is that nobody buffs characters. Nobody cares except for this game. So I'm super grateful to them for that. So this second point doesn't bother me as much, but it does bother me that like the people we got in the next buff rotation, because These two were absolutely the best, not the best choice, but like good choices for the buffs because they were both struggling. They're still going to be struggling now. Like nobody's going to use Grace after her buffs, sadly. As sad as it is to say, no one's going to use Grace after her buffs. There's already been hardcore Soldier 11 mains. All this does is like make their favorite character a little better, which I'm glad for. And it's inspired me to use her a little more. So that's that. Uh, but the thing that pisses me off is the next round of buffs we're getting. Although the other thing was Ellen Joe's buffs kind of haven't really impacted her place in the meta. She's still no one like you're either using her or you're not, and those buffs, whether those buffs help or not, you know it's irrelevant. Anyway, the next round of buffs is first of all Harumasa, which I understand. I'm glad that doing Harumasa, he's the right choice. He really could use another buff. I wonder if they're gonna make him viable on the Shadow Harmony set. I'd like to see him be able to run Shadow Harmony, kind of like a freer version of Sambi in some ways. But what pisses me off is that we got Lycone. Like Lycone, out of all the standard 5-star units, Lycone is the only one we're still using. You know what I mean? Like I don't know why he's getting a buff. Everybody in the standard roster can use a buff except Lycone, and yet we're wasting 3 months of development time on Lycone. You know what I mean? Like we have to wait for Lycone's buff to finish and be released, and then we'll get another unit. I don't know. It just antagonizes me. Like obviously, I'm not gonna complain too much because again, I'm now moving in on the Miyabi agenda. So having Lycone buffed is fantastic. But it's like, what are they gonna do to make him better? Like what? How are they gonna buff him? Like he already gives out. Like out of all the stunners this game started off with, he has the best buffs. First of all, he gives out a 25% ice res shred, which I think Miyabi has a built-in 30% ice resistance shred as well into her kit. So this is 55% right off the bat. And then on top of that, he also gives out a 35% stun damage multiplier. Let's go look at Kaleda, the other 5-star starting unit. What does she do? When she uses her EX special, her next basic attack or whatever deals 60% more days. Okay. And then she gives out the chain attacks deal 35% more damage. Her stun damage multiplier, okay, the fact that it reaches up 70 is decent, I guess. But you have to chain cancel with her, which means that you lose one of your chain attacks, first of all. Second of all, she has to be built on enough energy regen that she can EX special attack twice in a row to pull this off. That's ridiculous, man. Yeah, it's just not, I don't know. It's just to get one buff that only buffs your chain attack. We're not even talking about your ultimates, unless this includes your ultimates. That'd be pretty cool. I kind of doubt it does, but I'm not sure. I have to test this. I might test this. But as far as I'm concerned, right now it's just chain attacks. But anyway, it boosts your chain attacks, because the reason I think it might include ultimates is because they're both in the same, like, it says chain attack here and ultimates included. So it may increase ultimate damage, which is pretty cool. But the point being is that Lycone applies a 35% damage multiplier to anything you do during that buff window. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Again, these are just grievances. They're not like game ending ones. I still love the game. I'm still gonna play it, but it's just like, who was sitting there going, Lycone needs a buff? Kaleda, she's 100% strong. Leave her the way she is, right? Don't touch her. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I would have preferred to see Kaleda buffed or Rena buffed. For some reason, and I think I forgot who it was. Somebody was making a video talking about pen ratio, and they were saying like pen ratio's like suffering because they just kind of they don't really seem to care about pen ratio. And I'm like, that's right, because Rena should be the one out here pushing the pen ratio agenda, but they're just gonna leave her like unbuffed. You know what I mean? Again, let's look at like Rena as an example of her passives. First of all, she gives out this pen ratio buff, which isn't too bad. It's 38% or 39% or something like that. And then her second ability kind of sucks because, first of all, it makes shock last longer. The shock anomaly lasts longer, which who cares? Because there's like no good like shock anomaly units. Like Grace is just not good, right? So nobody uses the shock anomaly. Second of all, she gives out a 10% electric damage buff when someone's shocked. Like, it's just hilarious to me how conservative these early buffs are. well, again, we have a stunner that gives out a 40% damage buff somewhere in her kit. If I can manage to figure this out, I don't. Yeah, it's a bunch of like nonsense in here. Look at all this. I don't know what this is. It's in here somewhere. Damage taken. Hey, look, damage taken is reduced by whatever. I don't know. Doesn't matter. She has a 40% damage buff in here in the kit somewhere. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting to me. Like, it was just super frustrating when I found out that we like the next buff set was just like Conan. We didn't even get a premium unit this time. Because like the first, not the first one, because the first time was Ellen Joe because she was struggling, and then she got her buff, and then we went forward, and then like we buffed Ellen Joe, Sambi for some reason, um, and then Grace and Soldier 11. This time we're only getting two, and they're like none of the more expensive units are. I don't know who you would buff out of the pay to win people. Oh, as always, I'd probably just recommend. Oh, that's who else we got. We got like five, right? She got a buff. So yeah, I don't know. Just the fact that we only got two. Hopefully these are shorter and they already have their ideas laid out, and it's just a few tweaks that they're gonna do or something. I don't know. We'll see what they end up doing. But obviously, like I would love to have Caesar be back in the meta. Arguably, one might even say she was never in the meta to begin with, but you know that's its own thing. Though I guess the last thing I'll mention is just the fact that the defense class doesn't do anything. Like stunners, obviously super valuable. They stun, right? That's like 90% of an attacker's game plan is to hit them and then get them in the stun window. Except for obviously Yixing Wang, she doesn't really care. But yeah, the fact that the defensive class doesn't have anything interesting going on with it, like the defensive class, what do? Their only advantage over the other classes is that when they parry assist, they use like one less defensive point or whatever, one defense point cost or whatever. It's like who cares? You know what I mean? To me, the best defense unit we got was Seth. But unfortunately, Seth just isn't strong enough to keep up with the meta, so I don't use him as much. And what's it called? Electric Anomaly. At a basic level, Electric Anomaly it just isn't like super fantastic. Like they have to, like if they want an Electric Anomaly to be something, they have to release a character who really does like capitalize on it. But yeah, so the point is the electricity as an anomaly type is already kind of an uphill battle, but that's just my look on it. Yeah, I don't know how they would fix it. Yeah, I really don't know what you would do to make the defensive class. Either get rid of it and make them stunners, or do something else. But it's kind of too late now. They got class specific weapons and all that kind of stuff, so it's hard to like. What do we do? You know. I had an idea. I forgot what the idea was, but I did have an idea about like what we could do with defensive assist, or just defense units in general. I felt like maybe they should be the ones that shred the miasma buff more or something like that. I don't know. I forgot what it was, but I had a decent idea. But the point is, it's just underutilized. It's just nobody cares. Like there was no useful defensive assist units until Zhao came out. Again, I obviously argue that Seth was really good, but he kind of fell off. He was the only support unit for anomalies until Yuzuha came, and then Yuzuha came and made everybody irrelevant, right? Yeah, it's like there's no good defense units. Zhao's only like, the main thing about Zhao is she does everything that she does, but better. First of all, Zhao throws up an Aether Veil, which people need. She gives out 1,000 attack, which is what she does. Zhao also gives out a 40% damage buff from her passive. 40% damage buff here, which is what which is what she does. But then also Zhao does a bunch of off-field attack damage because her like basic attack she'll charge it off-field and hit him with it, and her EX special and all this other stuff. Yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. I'm glad about Zhao. I like Zhao. I actually think Zhao is a lot. I like Zhao as a character a little bit more, like as a character design, a little more than Caesar. But like I said, it'd be nice to have Caesar's. I like Caesar's personality. I think she's nice, but um, between the two of them, I don't mind having Xiao. Like Xiao does everything she does, but better. Um, and more, she's more useful. Not to mention she was free, so it's like, what am I gonna do? But yeah, I would like to see Caesar get buffed. I think in this next rotation, that's who should have been. It should have been um, two free to play units. So like, if you're gonna do Lycone, do Lycone. Then what's his name, Haramasa, and then more premium unit should have been Caesar King. I think it's partially it's probably because they might be working on something to overhaul the defense class. I don't know. I mean, I can't say one way or another, but I think that might have been why. So I think what we're gonna get is Haramasa plus Lycone. Their buffs are gonna come out, and the next announcement is probably gonna be like them doing something to the defensive class, and then we'll see a buff for for Caesar. It's not like a real prediction or anything, but it just makes me wonder. Maybe was that the reason why they delayed on buffing her? Because out of all the premium 5-star units, like these two have been the struggling the most. Is Ellen Joe and Caesar, and it's like not even close. Like it's like super obvious. Yeah, out of all of them, they're the only two people. Again, free to play. He's kind of free to play, but you know whatever. I think the other person that could use it is probably Ching Yi as a stunner. But that's mainly just because stunners have evolved to the point where they're basically just supports fused with stunners now. Um, the only other person I would probably say is maybe Jujuan, but I'm pretty sure Jujuan's doing fine. It's just that you don't hear anything about her because all the Jujuan mains are just quietly, stomping on all the content. Probably, like I said, I don't see a lot of videos with her, but I think one of the things is just that she's overshadowed by Yishuan. It's like, oh, I could bring in Jujuan for some kind of content, but why? When I can just bring in what's it called? The Miyabi level rupture, art, what's it called? A Void Hunter that penetrates all defense. You know what I mean? Like, so I think that's one of the main reasons she's struggling is because she's just in the shadow. Like, one of the reasons all ice units struggle is because they're in the shadow of Miyabi. One of the reasons why I feel personally, all the not that there's that many of them, but all Aether units struggle is because of um, Yishuan now. Where is she? Look for Miyabi. But yeah, so Miyabi just kind of like why would I pull for Hugo when I have Miyabi? Why would I pull for Ellen when I have Miyabi? You know what I mean? Like it's hard to like justify anything in the face of the Void Hunters. So it's the same thing with Yishuan where it's like if another what's it called? Aether unit comes out. Is it Aether? No, what is this element called? Yeah, it's Aether. Yeah, another Aether damage unit comes out. It's like, well, is it gonna be better than Yishuan? I think, funnily enough, with her, obviously she outpaces Jane Doe, but because she's an attacker and Jane Doe's an anomaly, and like a lot of other physical anomalies like Piper or Alice, they're not competing with each other exactly. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's just kind of the way I look at it. Obviously, the fact that like Rupture as a class doesn't really need to exist. It's just an attacker. Like it doesn't do anything that attackers don't already do other than health scaling. Like there was no reason for it to be separate into its own class, but that's its own thing. Anyway, the point being is that like with her, she doesn't seem to override the other physical, at least in my mind. Probably in actuality, I'm sure she does, but in my mind, she doesn't override like Jane or Alice or all that stuff because they're different damage types. So again, one's a straight attacker, the other one's an anomaly. So they kind of they almost don't step on each other's toes. Is basically what I'm getting at. But other than that, like I said, I've been enjoying this game. You're gonna see content going forward on this game. I'm not gonna stop making stuff for this. Again, Wuwa at some point I probably will. The other thing is it's gonna be kind of slow in terms of like summons. I've already done a bunch of summons off screen because I already knew I wasn't going to get anything off of them. And I wasn't summoning on these banners to pull the unit. It was more like I had a couple 10 pulls and I'm not going to pull on this banner again. I'm saving for Miyabi. And now that I know that Miyabi's not coming for at least 2 more patches, I was just like, I'll just blow it on this because I need Alice. The only thing from here I need is Alice. So anyway, the point being is like, I try not to do banner reviews in this game like I did in Fire Emblem or Epic 7. Mainly because like those games you could pull for units consistently, right? In this game, it's like you can't pull for a lot of units. You can only pull like one at every 3 units, right? Something like that, kind of close to that. I'm sure if you skip weapons, it's maybe like half of the units you can pull, like one out of every two. But for me, I felt like it's more around one out of every three, just because I like to pull the weapons a lot of times. There's some special occasions where it does become one out of every two for me, where it's like, oh, I can pull this unit without having to worry about their weapon, right? Um, but yeah, like I said, the point being is that I just kind of threw some in here because I knew I wasn't gonna pull until Miyabi came back, and I thought she was gonna come back somewhat soon, but clearly we have 2 months from now. So I just was like, I'm just gonna send it. So like I said, I already knew I was gonna get anything out of either of these. Now the other thing was too, they were discounted, so you got 10 summons for the price of 8. So I was like, whatever. It's not that big a deal. I'm just gonna send it on these. I'm getting close to this. The thing I want out of this mainly is hopefully I get Hellfire gears, because that's the last thing I need to finish out my where is she? My dial-in build. Because her build is already fully maxed out. For those of you who want to see, I got a bunch of like all her crit rate is maxed out, and I got all her crit rate to fully maxed out without using her weapon, which is, to me, I'm like super proud of that. But anyway, um, with Hellfire gears will be the next upgrade for her, and once I get Hellfire gears, like I won't have to touch dial-in ever. Should just be finished at the end of time. But yeah, so that's what I'm hoping out of this. I don't need any merges. Like Soldier 11, I guess I could use more. Light Cone, I have a merge on Light Cone already, and I have one on her. She's still not very good, so I could use one, but whatever. I think I already have one on Kaleda as well. And then I really don't want Nekomata. So out of the units, I don't care about them too much. Again, Light Cone wouldn't be bad because he's getting buffed or whatever, but whatever. It's just mainly Hellfire gears that I like to get out of this. And then, like I said, I'm probably pulling from Miyabi. So I tried, like I said, for those of you who've been here and they pay attention to everything I say, like I said, people kind of come in and watch like a minute of the video and leave. So, but anybody who does stick around, I've been a huge Miyabi hater for a long time, but I've switched over. I'm a Miyabi shill now. I'm part of the Miyabi agenda. So it is what it is. What else was there? I guess that was the main thing. It's just like I said, I like to catalog if I spend any money to have it on here, so you guys know the sum total of what I've spent on this account, so you guys know more. Just to be transparent, so you guys know more or less how much money gets you how much power or whatever. Like, so you know where what spending money looks like, right? Because if you watch like Genshin, you have all these people with these stacked accounts, and it's like, well, how long does it take to get there? And it's probably like thousands of dollars. You know what I mean? So the fact that I've only spent a total of like 45 to 50 something dollars on this game, I think it's pretty nice. I've gotten basically everyone I've wanted. A few, and there's a few little bonuses here and there. Um, yeah, so that was the main thing. It's just some gripes as well. I'm actually curious to see. Pay attention to the next units that come out and see how many evasive assist units come out in there, because I think they're just giving up on that whole concept in general. There's just a few like vestigial like characters who still do it, and I'm pretty sure it's just to piss me off specifically. I mean, obviously not, but you know what I mean. Like, I'm the only person who cares, and I'm the only one who gets frustrated at the fact that they just exist. Because again, I like using Pokra. She's one of my favorite units, but I can't use her because everything is built around parrying, and the evasive assist doesn't do anything. It's just like a waste of your time most of the time. So, like I said, maybe it's probably just a skill issue on my part, but out of the 3 evasive assist characters, which I just realized are right here, right next to each other, Grace, Pokra, and Rina are the 3 evasive assist characters that I have anyway. Do I have any other ones? No, I don't. Well, I've never used these 3 characters or these, so I wouldn't know. I wonder, I think Billy might be an evasive assist character. But the point with Billy is if you're a Billy main, you're using Billy and then you have 2 other characters that you swap into. So if you're like fighting a boss, it's rare that you need a defensive parry with Billy, but going from Billy to someone else and back to Billy is probably going to give you the evasive assist. Again, I don't know. He might have a defensive assist, but I've never used, as you can see, they're not even level whatever. Like, I've never used any of these characters at all. I used Sambi at the very beginning of the game, or just regular Ambi. Obviously, she's got a defensive assist. I already know that, but, Anyway, Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.